I made so many mistakes. It just touched everyone in the world, and that celebrities all around the world were wanting it and wearing it. And I mean, it was such a blessing because I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how to manufacture, produce, source, any of that. Money is worse than not having money because you make even dumber decisions. Because when you don't have, you got to really think about, okay, should we invest in this or invest in that? I'm like, I went to China and I bought everything. I made it. I want to have purpose. My dad is 91. He stopped working here during COVID. And he said, you take away my purpose, you take away my life.
I believe a lot of people are misinformed about entrepreneurship, and a lot of people are learning from wrong people because they have a following and did this, but they haven't built a meaningful company. So why are you taking advice from him or her? This is why I'm doing this. Your motto and your mission statement, your why, a lot of things that I do hear you talk about in every interview is the essence of peace and love. For those of you guys that have clicked on this video, welcome or welcome back to the Leaders Talk Podcast, right? The place where you can learn from leaders amongst every industry, from athletes to entrepreneurs to executives to politicians to influencers, to the list goes on. And I will tell you, only if you truly want to develop your leadership, only if you have the vision, you want to bring that vision to reality, whether that is a business, whether that's a social media, then subscribe. But if you don't, then at least watch it to the end of the video so that you can get the value from this interview. Because today we are interviewing founder and CEO of Peace Love World. If you don't know them by their name, you definitely know them by their logo. I will say this is kind of like a full circle moment because I'm not old. You know, it was 5 years ago that I was in middle school.
How old are you?
18. So,
You're 18?
Yeah, so I'm not like, I'm not, so I was funny, wow. And I was thinking about it, I was like.
It's beyond your years.
I appreciate that. You know, I'm learning from people like you, so that.
Wow, 18. Okay, I hustled this morning and ran over here and put a jacket on over my workout clothes so an 18-year-old could interview me. I like that.
Hustling you? Yeah, FIU. Literally, I have to go like after this.
That's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. So
good for you.
I was gonna say that I thought I was getting old because like, it was only 5 years ago that I saw everybody in my middle school wearing the logo, everybody wearing the hoodie, the shirt, something. So it's definitely like a full circle moment. And for those of you guys that don't know, the mission statement of Peace Love World is to literally spread peace around the world. And in doing so, she has had over 2,000 boutiques, right?
So I had 9 stores, 2,000 boutiques worldwide, in all the majors, and now we're primarily web and television.
Okay.
So yeah.
So for you guys that know that, and in doing so, she has collaborated with names, not to name drop, but we're gonna name drop like J-Lo, Pharrell, Kim Kardashian,
Oprah. A 12-week tour with her.
Guys, the list can go on.
It's amazing.
And for you numerical people, she has been in the business for over 15 years and definitely has sold over millions and millions of dollars. So guys, it's my pleasure and honor to interview Alina Villasante.
Thank you. Thank you. I love that an 18-year-old is interviewing me. I hope I can teach you something today.
Oh,
you're going to teach me something.
We're gonna learn. I think we're gonna learn a lot today. If just sit back and I hope you enjoy because I'm very excited for this. Like I said, I was thinking about it. Like it didn't hit me because as I'm growing the podcast, as I'm interviewing more people, I'm learning to live more and more in the moments that I want to get to like the 100,000 subscribers. I want to get to like, I'm learning to just enjoy.
Can I give you some advice on that?
Please.
So when you start a business, you bust your butt for at least 5 years when all of a sudden you're an overnight success. So there's no such thing as an overnight success. It really is like that. Take it day by day and it will come. And then one day something just happens and you're kind of where you planned on being, or maybe in a different place, but just as successful because life kind of takes turns for you. Yeah. But yeah, especially that you're 18, I feel the key to success is consistency. Even if no one's watching for 3 years, you keep putting it out there because one day people will be watching if you have enough information to interest them, you know?
I'm taking that to heart because I'm living in that period. I like to call it the waiting period, and I've studied a lot of people that I've talked to. Like you said, there's that 5, 3, 4, 10-year period where it's dark. the supporting goes away. The voices of like, hey, I believe in you.
Too.
Exactly. I think it's kind of like the analogy.
Hands-on time.
I've had an analogy that I think about. It's kind of like a Polaroid. If you ever, you know what a Polaroid? No, I'm just saying.
Polaroid Hannah.
When you take a picture.
I think it was the season before me, but yeah.
If you take a picture on a Polaroid, you can't put it right directly in the sun.
Right.
If not, the picture will get distorted. So you have to put it in a dark room where the picture gets. And that's kind of where I feel, well, it leads me to my perfect first question. I kind of feel that in the beginning years of your entrepreneurship, when you're building the business, when you're building a social media, when you're doing whatever, it's like very, very pivotal. And there's not the people that say, hey, keep going, and hey, I believe in you, kind of like dilutes. And it's kind of like you and your
absolutely.
thoughts.
Oh, yeah. They say it's lonely at the top, right? Because you keep going.
Even in the process, it's...
Yeah, you keep going, and there are people there, but they're more in the shadows or in the, on the sidelines, shall I say. But it's the best years, too, because you don't really realize it until you have a staff and until you have people doing things with you and for you. That beginning, that hands-on time, the most passionate, the most... where you dream the biggest, when you finally reach success at its first level, let's say, you miss those moments where you were just grinding with everybody, and now there's a little bit of organization, there's a little more help, and there's still rough moments going, but that beginning where you have nobody and you're doing it all yourself, there's beauty in that.
So you missed it, like...
I don't miss it, but you definitely, time goes by faster. Everything is so exciting. I think you celebrate every little win, which I always try to remember to celebrate every little win now. I actually have little prayer cards. And so I used to, when I went through my darkest time, I had all these prayers. I would go to church every day. And what I did is when my prayers started to get answered, I checked them and I put them in another envelope, said answered prayers, right? So you have new dreams, you have new prayers, you have new needs, you have new wants in life, but you can never forget the things you already received and be thankful and grateful for those things, because there is more to come, but it's that journey of gratitude and appreciation and thankfulness that really just sets the tone for what's next.
I think the reason that I'm like you said, that maybe I'm not enjoying the process as much as I should be, is because you're so focused on like the end goal. You're so focused on like what you're praying for, instead of like...
Don't focus on money. Money's their reward.
Exactly. And that's what... Well, for me, it's not the subscribers that I'm worried about. It's because this is the thing, and I truly do believe this in entrepreneurship. It's not 1 + 1 = 2. It's like, oh, just put out videos, interview the right people, and then you're just gonna get the subscribers. It's like, hold up, I did that. Interview this person. Have the marketing team. You know what I'm saying? So, I like I said, I think there is a waiting period.
Are you the producer, the photographer, the interviewer?
Well, kind of in a way.
One day. Imagine.
I know.
What
I think about that.
But that's what you have to think about, not the subscribers. Think about, I want to have that person to speak to while I'm doing my podcast, and I want to have somebody editing my videos when I do my podcast. I would like somebody to set it up so when I walk in, I'm so prepared on what I want to ask. The rest will come. I already know what I'm putting on my post for you. I'm going to put anybody who wants to inspire a hungry 18-year-old needs to follow him. Because as any mother would say, wow, your mom must be proud. Your parents must be proud.
I hope so. I hope so.
Good job, mom and dad.
if you're watching, mom.
Right, Anna? Yes. Good job.
Thank you.
See, Anna's like that person that we speak to on the side now,
this makes it more natural, because it makes the podcast more natural when it's like, you're kind of having that off conversation where they can't really hear, but they hear the like dialogue.
Exactly. But I can tell you that we're both in awe. Are we not both in awe? Yes. Yeah.
So let me ask you then, those, like I said, those earlier years in building your business, when you look back, you had an aviation company, sold it off, like you said.
I was going to go to Tahiti with 2 hot men carrying my bags and never come back.
You're just going to go travel the world.
I went to a warehouse and started a new company.
that when you did begin to start, I also do believe there's not a perfect roadmap. It's kind of like parenting, right? You're not given a guideline of like how to start a business, how to like, you know.
You get second chances, you make new mistakes.
Exactly. What were some of those like pivotal, those big lessons that you learned like early on?
Oh my goodness, so many. I made so many mistakes. I was so lucky that my brand took off the way it did, that it just touched everyone in the world, and that celebrities all around the world were wanting it and wearing it. And I mean, it was such a blessing because I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how to manufacture, produce, source, any of that. I made a lot of mistakes. I blew a lot of money. Sometimes we had just sold our company. Sometimes having money is worse than not having money because you make even dumber decisions. Because when you don't have, you got to really think about, okay, should we invest in this or invest in that? I'm like, I went to China and I bought everything. I made everything. I went to Peru because China was my accessories. Peru was my garments. All my garments were the finest yarn in the world. I went to Hong Kong. I think that...
Was this on the first and second year?
It was all in the first and second year because it blew up. And I just wanted to make pet clothes and men's stuff and accessories and bags and luggage. And probably I would have done it a little slower. Listen, I'm lucky because I'm here today and the brand is alive and it's doing unbelievable. But it wasn't really the right way to do it. You know, you should go a little slower and make better decisions. Like, I didn't know when you bought apparel in the fashion world that the sizing is like 1 small, 2 mediums, 2 larges, 1 extra large, right? That's how you buy in that kind of ratio. I just bought like 3,000 of every size. So little mistakes, but like I said, I was very fortunate that I had such an incredible following that my inventory did not become a problem, but that is the death of a business.
How'd you get your brand to blow up that quickly?
I mean, you know, I started in 2008, right in the beginning of
financial crisis.
Yes, the financial crisis. And what I think is that the world was just hungry. You know, fear in people, wars and financial crises, they kind of humble people and they bring them to a place of, oh my God, I need peace. I need security. Love is so important. And I think that when we're all going really fast and living really fast, we take those little things for granted. And, you know, money is a great thing to have, but it's not better than love and it's not better than feeling peace. I mean, definitely you have to have money to live and to survive, but I think that the brand's mission is more soulful and it's more about the feeling from the inside out. And I think the world was scared. It was a really, really hard time. And I can tell you that when I sold my company, my friends were losing everything because of the financial crises. So I couldn't even celebrate one of the biggest achievements in my life because it didn't feel proper.
Yeah.
So I literally closed the door, took a picture, and I kept living my life as it was and started a new business.
There's a verse in the Bible that says, love is the greatest.
It's the greatest of all. You can't, I mean, listen, I just was chosen for 50 women over 50 with sitting aside the most incredible women known that you probably know many of them, Martha Stewart being one of them, but many women, and my beautiful friend Mally, Kim, and it's about women, which you don't know because you're young, but it's being 50 and it's 50 women, life after 50. And we want the same things everybody else want, the same things you want. I want to feel alive when I wake up in the morning. I want to have purpose. My dad is 91. He stopped working here during COVID. And he said, you take away my purpose, you take away my life. So we are all just hungry for the fundamental things in life. And everything else is a game, and it's you know,
a byproduct. Actually.
A byproduct of, I love having a business. I love what I do. But imagine doing all this without love and peace in my life. I would probably not be a very nice person. Right, Anna?
That's powerful. No, and you know what happens though?
Do you agree, Anna? Were you listening?
She was listening. You know what I think happens though? That message of peace and love gets diluted because people think it's cliche.
It is cliche until it's not.
It is cliche, but I truly, truly do believe it is the most cliche things that often tend to be the most.
But it's very cliche. It's very like, it's kind of like dumb in a way. Like, oh, I'm about peace and love. The simplicity of it is if you just take away the words and close your eyes and think about what love and peace means to you. You know, everybody wants to feel loved and everybody wants to go to bed at night with a peaceful mind. And we take those things for granted when we have them. We don't take them for granted when we don't have them.
It's always, I always have this conversation with everybody, and business partner, my girlfriend, my mother, my father. I was like, it's crazy how life works. When you're in a relationship, now you want this person. When you're not in a relationship, you don't want this person. When you don't have the money, now you want the money. When you want...
Yeah, in my relationship, when I start getting like a little aggravated, I go back to how I felt when I didn't have him. And then I center him. And I do this like in the same day. If I'm aggravated about something or I'm not getting my way or whatever it is, I'm just like, well, Alina, don't forget how you felt when he wasn't around. And let's not nitpick at people for little things because it's really, really, and I have that very clear in my mind. And sometimes I'll pick up the phone and say, I'm sorry for the way I was this morning, or I'm sorry.
Which takes humility, which is another big part of everything.
We're all going through something at certain times, and I'm pretty much happy most of the time, but you have your moments where you can be sad or you can be aggravated or you can be whatever. And the key is not to take it out on the people that you love the most.
And honestly, this wasn't even a topic that I wanted to get into, but I think
it's a question number 2.
No, but I really, that what you said is very important because, and I've realized it from my own personal experience, when I have the stress of like, man, is this podcast going to work? Why is the marketing agency, this person's now like, the easiest person to take that off on is the person that's closest to you, the one that supports you, the one that wholeheartedly loves you, that doesn't care about that.
Abuse the people we love the most.
And it's like, it should be the other way around. Like, why are we taking on the people that are closest to us? And it takes a lot of humility. It takes a lot of humility and self-awareness. And the biggest word is humility, because you don't want to say, I was wrong. Like, I was genuinely wrong that I treated you that way or said that specific thing because of my own stress, because I didn't have stress tolerance, because I couldn't control my mouth because of the way I felt. I apologize. And that takes a lot of strength and humility. So I think
he's going to be a great man to a woman one day.
I'm working on it. But I think, I know that's what I've quickly realized, you know, and like, exactly like you said, it tends to be the people that are closest to us that we could take it out or lash out on, or like, instead of the reverse, hey, I need your support.
Just take a moment and tell them you love them.
Exactly.
And you're sorry for being a little pain in the butt that day.
I read an article, multiple articles actually, a lot of interviews. I always like to really like know the person that I'm interviewing before. So it's like, I kind of know the responses you're going to say. So I'm like, okay, let me not ask you this. Let me go this direction.
Go for it.
But I read in an article, they were asking what you would do if you had to restart your business and the mistakes you made. I think it was like 9-8 points. I don't know if
Yeah.
And one of the points, I want to read it. It said before you started your company, that it was to learn from others' mistakes, but knowing that you're going to make your own, and a part of growth and success is failing. Now,
absolutely 100% true.
I want to say a sentence on there. You vaguely mentioned it, and I haven't heard you get into it, that one of the biggest mistakes you made was choosing the wrong person as a partner. Now, I really want, if you are comfortable to get into it, you don't have to get specifics and name drop, but what I am saying is that I'm at the position where I have a business partnership, I have other people that I'm working with, and I really love to learn from others' mistakes. A wise man learns from others' mistakes. So I want to hear from you what that mistake was. And if you could go back and like, okay, this is a red flag from a person.
Well, so first of all, I chose the wrong person. The person I originally wanted, somebody came in the middle and said, you should go with this person, which later I found out that person was benefiting by me choosing person number 2. So that's number 1. Number 2, I made a decision so quick that I didn't do my due diligence, and we weren't aligned in any way, not in spirituality, not in honesty, not in morals and ethics, not in anything. So obviously, when you go on this journey, this person has an agenda of where he wants to go, and you're on a whole different path. And the thing that saved me, I will tell you, is that I did not give him the majority ownership. I hired him to be my sourcing and production, and I was everything else. And I was smart enough to have a contract that protected those things. And I was smart enough to put at the end of the contract that if he doesn't do above and beyond what I'm already doing within 12 months, I get my company back. And because of that, I was able to save myself, my company, my name, my trademarks, my everything. And the attorney didn't even tell me to put that in at the end. I'm the one at the last minute said, if this doesn't happen, and it doesn't happen like this, I want an opportunity to get it back. And we were so far in that he agreed. And for him, if he was the right person, it wouldn't have been a big deal that I put that in there. But since he was the wrong person, I was lucky enough to have that clause that got me my company back.
So what I'm hearing, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is should be a lot more emphasis when you choosing somebody to partner with on the intangibles, on the drivers.
Yes, and you have to be aligned, and contracts are important because relationships do fall apart. Many businesses fall apart. People have different visions. It doesn't mean one is bad and one is good, but you have a mission statement. What is it? Don't adjust it for anybody else, you know? And if you just think, oh, this person has money, so they're going to get me there, and they're not aligned with you in your principles, it's not going to matter that they have money because you're not going to be happy on the other side. And at the end of the day, if you didn't protect yourself enough, you're going to end up losing what you started. So just do your due diligence and be very sure. Look, marriages break up. So businesses break up. You know, you don't want to go through a divorce in business. It's not pretty. It doesn't feel any better than, it's not pretty.
Yeah. And I lost my train of thought. I had something that was, this happens a lot of times that I'm like,
my mom said,
I'm listening.
Your mind is cluttered, like full, like you're doing so many things. I always say, Mom, why do I forget things? She goes, because you have a million things in your head all the time.
Maybe I do have a million things in my mind, but I also think that
18-year-old mind, it's got all this room in there.
No, but I'm listening so attentively that I forget, this is what I'm training myself to do, and which is an important skill in business, which is listening, right?
Yeah, very, very important.
Very important. And the way that you do that is literally just being so attentive, forgetting, the way I used to do podcasts was that I would remember the questions and I would I haven't looked really once. I looked to read the thing, but I used to I'm just so in the moment, and it creates a better feel. It creates something more dynamic, and it's me speaking from my curiosity, which is that I believe that a lot of people are misinformed about entrepreneurship, and a lot of people are learning from wrong people because they have a following and did this, but they haven't built a meaningful company. So why are you taking advice from him or her? This is why I'm doing this. And so sometimes I'm so attentive and so curious because I feel the other person listening.
No, and I feel you listening. It's great. Hope I taught you something.
I'm learning.
I hope you came in here today and leave with new information.
Trust me.
Right, Anna?
I'm learning a lot.
Are you learning anything?
I'm learning a lot. I hope you guys are learning a lot. If you're making it to this point, guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, check out Instagram. I'm almost going to tag everything you have so you guys can take a look at it. But another thing about entrepreneurship that I think is very important is kind of going back to what we said, the waiting period, right? That dark time where you're you had your vision, you had the couple months where people were I believe in you, yeah, you're doing so well, hey, you need me to help you out? Perfect, I'm going to repost your stuff, oh, cool, I got you. That goes away, and then it's silence. And the silence of your own inner thoughts and your own, am I really going to do this? Bro, if I quit right now, nobody's going to see, do people really care if I keep going with this? Nobody cares, everybody has their own problems.
Well, nobody's coming to save you.
Exactly.
If you keep going and become more and more interesting, people will. But look, I have the same thing with my Instagram. I have all these new people that I work with and all that. And sometimes like, where's my friends? You know, and then they're probably like, oh, Alina's doing this. And, you know, but you have the same thing. Like you want the people to comment and the people to like to be the people you love. Yet you have all these people that you really don't know that are doing it. And although that's great and you're hoping you're inspiring someone, where's like my crew? So it is part of life. And we have this joke at work. Like if any of us post, I'm like, Anna, love it and say how great I look. Or she'll call me, hey, say that I look fantastic. It's like a joke, right?
Yeah.
But we actually should be doing that with the people we love without, you know.
Yeah.
And why is that so important? So it's crazy. It's a really crazy world, and how much emphasis we put. And I have this, and I live a full life and I travel a lot. And I look at Instagram and I go, God, how are all these people doing all this stuff? Doesn't anybody work? You know, it's such a like false environment, yet it's so powerful and instrumental to growing your business.
I don't even want to get into the social media because that's literally like, that's every day. I have a marketing agency, I have the podcast, and like every day I'm consumed with that I'm like I see exactly what you see, and I study so many people that I'm like, okay, like I know what you're saying.
What's my friend Joe not commenting on my right?
And it's those little things, but I also do think it's not a, how do you say, like a misperception of like what it really is, what life really, what business really is, and that's why I really strive to put time into this podcast.
Consistency wins at the end.
Always.
Remember, that was my word of the year last year. Trust me, people aren't thinking about you when you're not around.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe some girls are, but I don't know about in business.
I hope so.
They might be thinking about you. They're going to increase your love, but not your money. But yeah, you have to ask for it. If you want, look, you came here and you were persistent, and I think I canceled 4 times, and here you are.
I mean, you want to...
I mean, I'm not kidding. I thought he was a Zoom. It was in person. I have workout clothes on under this. I had my dog here. I mean, it's crazy the things we do, and here we are.
And we make it happen.
It's a great moment, and we made it happen.
We're making it happen.
Entrepreneurs.
So, after you blew up, or actually before you blew up, what was that North Star? The thing that kept you going? The thing that was like, you know what?
My passion. I loved what I was doing so much. I loved the fabric. I loved the silhouette. I loved the clothes. Mm-hmm. I loved the journey. I loved the journey. I loved where I was going. I loved the message. I loved most of all what I was teaching my children and their friends. And I saw how they looked up to me so much, and they admired me so much, and they wanted to be they're a big part of why I am here today at Gulliver.
Oh, they go to Gulliver.
They all went to Gulliver, yeah. And really because of them, I think community, because really you have to win in your community first, and then it goes. And we live in a community that really has a lot of arms to the rest of the world, so you're very lucky to be here.
Yeah, I would say literally the only reason that I'm sitting down with somebody like yourself, the only reason that I'm sitting down, hopefully Lauren's kind of like the same boat as you, like she would cancel, but then she's like, oh, we're doing it this day and then but trust me,
no,
like
we don't mean to.
No, I never take anything personal. That's another thing, like you can't take anything personal, but I would say Miami has created so much opportunity.
Oh my goodness, you have all the opportunity, and you know what, you're so young and vibrant and passionate and focused that I think anybody is going to want to help you.
Well, you'd be surprised. I've reached out to a lot of people, but I'm keeping my whole side. I don't take it personal.
Just
because
keep asking until they're like, this guy's a pain. Let's just get him out of the way.
That's what happens. So I know time's running out, but guys, if you really did make it to the end, I think the best podcasts, the best interviews are the ones that aren't so structured, the ones that are raw, the ones that are more truthful. I take you off course. You take me off course, and I'm like, please keep taking me off course because I like the direction that we're going in. But I do have to say, your motto and your mission statement, your why, a lot of things that I do hear you talk about in every interview is the essence of peace and love. And like we said, sometimes it's the most cliche things that often tend to be the most right, and that's why they're called cliche. But I also do believe that the lack of love and the lack of peace and the lack of
structure is a
huge motivator.
Yes.
So I want to ask you, for somebody out there that is in that moment of like, they're trying so hard to seek that peace in the midst of the storm and trying so hard to like, what's your advice to them?
You know, I always go back and think about, 20 people around me. Okay, they're not, they haven't like failed to the point where they lost. You just have to continue believing in yourself. Look, there's days I leave the office and I have a problem that I don't know how I'm going to solve. And there's days that I think I'm on top of the world and wow, this is the best day ever. But you just have to really believe in yourself. You have to have the courage to ask for the things that you need from the people that you most depend on. And you just have to keep going and understand that if it were easy, everybody would have it. If it were, podcast wise, and I've been in your same shoes because I've, thought about it many times. Oh, there's so many podcasts. Or when people were studying computer science back in the day when I was in school, oh, everybody's studying that. You know what? Who cares what everybody else is doing? It's the ones that have that oomph and they're at it every day and they have consistency and purpose. And those are the ones that win. Those are the ones that win. Look at Jay Shetty and Lewis Howes. They always say they had 3 listeners for how long? So you know what? Motivate those 3 listeners. If you can change 3 people's lives, it's better than nobody. And trust me, the rest will come. And that's the motivator. Giving feels better than receiving. And you're giving people the gift of information, of experience, of wisdom. And never forget that. I mean, God, you're 18. I can't get over it. He's 18.
Walk by faith and not by sight.
Yes.
That's what we're going to leave it on.
Faith.
Seriously, Alina, I have to say it. I will say it comfortably, comfortably, that this is the best interview that I've ever done. I mean that with my whole heart. This was one of the, not one. This is the best.
I've had more than one, right?
No, this is the best interview, and I will tell you why. Because it was so honest. It was so truthful. I think it was so informational and value packed for you guys that can be replicated, it can be scripted, it can't. And I loved it. And seriously, I know you're swamped. I know you literally, she's coming in right now.
My assistant's at the door going, next meeting,
We're talking about you right now. We're ending.
By the way, next meeting in workout clothes with my blazer over it. But they won't know either.
They won't know. But seriously, guys, thank you guys for making it to the end. If you did make it to the end,
follow him, subscribe.
Follow her.
Never know.
Follow her. I'm going to link all her Instagrams, the website, everything and anything, guys. Thank you so much for making it to the end. Feel free to subscribe. Check out the Instagram for more clips. God bless you, and I'll see you guys on the next one.